Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome everyone to this very, very special program, which is titled as Pune Changemakers, Best of the Best. This is the title that we've given to the program, which is being organized by Savitribai Phule Pune University. And here we have our own Center for Innovation, Incubation and Linkages, which works in the area of innovation. We have SPPU Research Park Foundation. This is our Section 8 company, which works very closely with startups. And we also have association for this program with our alumni association, because we understand that there are a lot of alumni associated in the startup ecosystem. And for today's program, it was relevant to have with us the association of the Alumni Association. We're honored to have Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Nitin Karmarkar, sir. The Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Umrani, sir. Our Management Council member, Sri Rajesh G. Pandey, who is also heading the alumni cell of the university. We will be shortly having with us Registrar Professor Prafulla Pawar, sir. We have with us in the front row, Sanjeev Sunani, sir, who is the Dean, and I just gave an introduction of sir, and he's been associated with the university. We are presented Fadnavis Management Council member. We joined with 350 participants online. Considering the COVID norms today, we decided to have this program online. And out of the 5 startups who've been identified at the national level, we have 4 who will be joining today in person, and 1 will be joining online because of, again, the issues and problems of the health that he has been associated with. Just a quick understanding of, you have come here for the first time, and I welcome all of you here on behalf of the university, and would like to give you a little understanding of what we do in the university. The Center for Innovation, Incubation Linkages has been established as per the Maharashtra Public University Act. And this is a center of the university, and I'm sure some days back you would have heard about the Atal rankings. And in the Atal rankings, we are in a huge university which is well known and amongst the top 10 universities nationally acclaimed in the area of research. And we took our baby steps for the first time, and we went into the ranking. And fortunately, we've been placed in the top 10 category, and we are at number 8 today in the national landscape. As I mentioned to you, the center is working closely with the college ecosystem, trying to find and work on the pre-incubation stage. While we have a SPPU Research Park Foundation that is working closely with the startups. And this has been the baby of Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, since he joined in, and he looked at what has happened at IIT Madras. And on a similar ground of what we see in IIT Madras is where we had the SPPU Research Park Foundation, which came into existence in the university. And as I said, the journey has been soft, simple for us. Year 1, we had 11 startups, which was in 2019. Year 2, we went on to approximately about 22 startups. And the last year, this is year 3, we had 40 startups. And this year, we will get the new cohort, which will be coming to us in the month of February or March. Having said this, we just don't work with early stage startups, but we are also working with mature startups. And for the interest of a few of you, Deepak, you were speaking to me on Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, he has made a mention of the fact that he would like to associate with the university. I told him of the example of Deep Tech as a company which is already got into, I think, Series B. So this is a company which has been funded by Entity Data from Japan. And they associated with us during the COVID times for an association which was more on the research side and also for the internships for the students and go to market. So this was another area where people feel that as a university, we can contribute to emerge startups. And we've been working with other startups like a company called Cogni Element, which is now getting into, which is which was seed funded a couple of days back. And now they're going in for the next round of funding and expecting about 23 CR to come this month. So probably they will be signing their term sheet very shortly. Some of the other startups who have, as we had a small discussion, which have not, they were all bootstrap companies. They've really not gone in for funding, but the business itself was sustaining them. And they have now looking at, scaling up. And here, typically, we have an 18-month tenure for any company that gets associated with us, and an extension of 6 months that we give to this company. I would fail in my duties if I don't share with you about a very important area of mentorship in the university that may be of interest to all of you sitting here, which is with Garje Marathi. It's an organization of the Indians based out of who have Indian origins and staying overseas. They are helping and supporting some of our startups, both by way of mentorship and also in terms of reaching to the community of investors. Having said this, Pune has been one city we're just doing, I was just sharing with you, we are just doing one small study of Pune ecosystem. And last month, we had Sri Piyush Goyal, who visited the university. And there were two choices that we heard from his team, whether Mumbai or Pune. The choice was made of Pune. And this is where we see that last 1 year, which was a COVID year, in spite of that being a COVID year, we saw a large investment that came in Pune. Approximately $537 million investment has come to the city of Pune last year. And the scale rose in the month of May after the vaccinations, where we had the maximum number of investments that came in Pune city, and then in the month of December, which is truly magnificent. And I would also like to share with everyone here that the investors who have come to Pune, hardly 6 of them out of the 47 investors who came to Pune, only 6 are Pune based. And about 40% of them have been the investors who have come from outside India. So this is the context of what and why, and Pune University, which is trying to do this work. That brings me to why have we invited you here. We know that Honorable Prime Minister Sir chose few of the startups. I think it was a huge competition that you all underwent, and there were close to around 2177 startups who had applied there. And I think the criteria for choosing US startups, so we have fortunate that 5 of you are from Pune, 4 from Pune, and I think Akshay is from Nasik, but you are from Pune University. So we thought that we would invite the Nasik startup as well, because we work in the jurisdictions of Pune, Nasik and Nagar. So Nasik definitely forms a part of our ecosystem. So that's the reason we felt that we should invite you, we should get connected to you, and we should, Jala Marathi Punto Kharisa Vata, could we try and also felicitate you and honor you from the highest person in the university, which is the Vice Chancellor of the university. And that's what brings us all together here today. With this a few opening remarks of why we are here today, we would get going with the program for which we are here. We have gotten a small video for each one of you, and we will try and see if we can share that small video of yours, and we'll start the program. I think Rajesh just left, right? Okay, fine. So we will start the main function for which we are here, and there are 350 students online who want to hear you, understand what you have done and how have you been revolutionary different from what's happening in the country, and why is it that you were chosen amongst the 46 in the country. So 46 top startups in the country, you're amongst them, and you are proud of the city. And I could hear this from each one of you when I was discussing with you before we came to this room, that everyone is a proud Puneite. So everyone said, so I heard that some of you are not from Pune, someone from Bangalore, but you've decided to be in Pune. So I'm sure this is a city which is going to see the next birth of next Silicon Valley in the country is what is going to happen. So with this, we will go for the felicitation of the startup, which is Repos IoT India Private Limited. So we have the founders. I think we have very vibrant team and of founders. So maybe we can go to the presentation mode if possible.
When me and Chetan started Repos in 2017, we started with just one thing. When me and Chetan started Repos in 2017, we started with just one thing, a dream. A dream beyond that space where possible and impossible just didn't exist for us. And a belief in that dream so strong, that we just knew it in our bones that this is going to work out. So does that mean there were no challenges? Of course there were. When I look back, I can't just help but smile to just know that how far we've come.
So Aditi and Chetan, could we have you here? So in the meantime, we could have an interaction with you live rather than a video. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much, Rajesh sir and everyone. Just thank you so much for having us here. I'll just give a small brief about what we do. We started in 2017. So when we both got married, the only goal was कि life में कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या? Because we had all the luxury, parents, family, everything was done, and we both said let's change the world. And change the world तो मराठी घरातले आमच्या घरातल्या तर की अजिबात नाही. आपलं जेवढं आहे राहून द्या. No, it's okay ना. Whatever it is there in the house, let it be. And we said, let's solve the biggest problem which the planet is facing. And that's where we said, what is the problem? So we identified global warming and what could we do? So yes, we started a journey of completely transforming the way we use energy. By energy, I mean by fuel, diesel, petrol, the coming electric, CV, the entire CNG gas. So option kya tha? We had our family run petrol pumps. And then we thought, we used to see a lot of B2B and big companies used to take barrels, come to diesel, petrol pump, take diesel and go back. इसमें से forget about their own losses, which is 5 to 10%, which is minimum of, if I'm a big industry, my minimum losses were in crores just to get fuel from a petrol pump in barrels, chori, the pilferage, everything. And India used to lose every year 5 to 10%, which was around $700 million. And we thought, ये पैसे सिर्फ lose हो रहा है just to get fuel. And that's where the entire innovation, we thought, why don't we take the petrol pump to their doorstep? So we innovated something which is like a mobile petrol pump, 40,000 square feet area. We put it on 400 square feet. We got all the IoT sensors, we connected to the app, and that app is connected to the end user. And first, our parents said, nahi chalega. No, don't do it. No, it is not possible. Then we went to a lot of who's who, they said, no, it will not work. And one fine day, we met the ex-petroleum minister, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan. He was there. I think sir must be knowing, and we just sneaked into it. We put an idea of thing into his pocket and we said, sir, we want to do it. And it was his vision. He announced on Twitter that soon we'll start e-commerce of petrol, diesel in India. And from 2017, the first person who trusted us, apart from Dharmendra Pradhan sir, was Ratan Tata. So no trust, parents were not believing us. Yeah, idea kaise karenge kya? We said, Chetan, we want to change India. पूरे गांव-गांव में डीजल, पेट्रोल, इलेक्ट्रिक, गैस सब जाना चाहिए. How are we going to do this? We need someone who's done with India. And then we thought, okay, great. We both looked up to Ratan Tata sir. We said, let's go. And he's like, he's not next door. Let's go and meet Ratan Tata. Yes, so we went with an idea that today we are delivering diesel on doorstep. The way we order food and everything on an app, soon we'll get option diesel, petrol, CNG, electric. It'll come and it'll charge and it'll go. And this was the idea where we can get all green fuels in India in next 10 years. Where the entire world is chasing the COP target. Can we make, we want to get rid of fossil fuels, but where is the option? And that's where we thought, let us get these fuels faster available. Instead of building a physical infrastructure, let's build a mobile infrastructure. So that's the entire journey. When we met Ratan Tata sir, we stood outside his house for 13, 14 hours. We said, so we want to meet you. And because we need someone to back us. And that's where he met us. He said, the only industry in the world which has not gone under... Okay. So yeah, how we met Ratan Tata sir, me and Chetan wrote down names of someone who's transformed India through business selflessly. So दोनों ने एक ही नाम लिखा, हम दोगानी दिला, okay, Ratan Tata. We said, okay, let's go. And Chetan just looked at me. He's like, neighbor thodi hai mere, let's go. We found out where he stays. We went to Mumbai. We made a nice written presentation on paper, pen, sketch pen, drawings. We got back to school, and we sneaked letters in his house. So through his XYZ people who were going, and we wrote, sir, when you were 35, one GRD Tata gave you a chance. And today we have a different India. We just need you to give us 15 minutes and we want to change the energy distribution. Please let us know. We are standing outside your house. Call on this number. And we stood outside 8 o'clock and it was 8 p.m. So 12, 13 hours were already gone. And then we went back to the room and my phone started ringing and I answered the phone. And we like, am I speaking to Aditi and Chetan? I said, yes. And I knew who was calling, but I still wanted to be sure. So I said, yes, may I know who's speaking? He's like, this is Ratan Tata here. And I got your letter. First of all, I didn't know you were waiting outside the house because I thought it's a letter. So I need to reply with a letter. So I am sorry. So he spent 2 minutes just saying sorry. I'm sorry. Was there a lot of sun there? You were waiting. Was there a lot of inconvenience? I said, so no, it's okay. And then he asked one thing, how are you going to change India? I'm interested in that. So he said, so this is the plan. So he asked, can we meet for coffee for 15 minutes at my house? We said, of course, matlab, what is the question? So we went to his house. He's like, I want to meet you in the house. So we went with a 3D model. We said, sir, we have no idea how to do it, but this is what we want to do. That 15 minutes meeting turned into 4 hours. He cancelled all his plans. And he said, please do it. Get all energies on mobile, turn the petrol pump industry into digital, get transparency, because abhi petrol pump pe jate we see zero dekho. Like, why are we doing that? We cannot scale the petrol pump as much as the demand is scaling. And he said, I will support you. How much funds you need? He said, sir, we don't need funds. We have a lot of money. Our family run business. So tell us what to do. He's like, how come you don't need funds? He said, sir, please help us. How do we contribute our life for the country? And that's where he was shocked. He said, you please note down my phone number, WhatsApp number, this number, that number, and I will mentor you. I mean, what else can a startup get, when Ratan Tata sir started mentoring? Then he started telling us that don't be only a tech company, build these mobile petrol pumps of IoT in-house. Me and Chetan said, yes. We had no idea. He's like, I hope you have a factory. We said, yes, sir. He had nothing. Huh? He said, yes, sir, factories. He's like, okay, I'm sending chairman and everyone to your factory. Within 2 days, we went to his father. We said, kuch to khada karo, land lao, bhade pe we'll get machines, we'll get something. But we were shocked that the Tata Motors vice president called us in 2 days. Said, we got a call from Ratan Tata. And because you all are from Pune, Tata Motors is in Bosiri, Pune, we are instructed to help you all. And they said, 2 days you are coming. We had no factory. Factory ka FB nahi pata tha. Chetan's dad got everything land leveled, the entire roof done. We got machines on rent. And he said, so this is the start. So that's how our journey started, and all this with no legal policy. So you know what? We had to start a business. People told us you have to transform the policy. And what do you mean by transform policy? He said nothing. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Prime Minister. Done. We will do it. We had no idea. As a startup, you don't know where you're going to reach and what not. So I think our journey started from there. So right from nothing in place to 2019 getting the policy. Then we worked also with the United Nations Indian Army, helped them understand this concept. Now we are present with the same mobile petrol pumps in 188 cities of India. We are selling around 6 crore of liters of diesel on our platform, saving around crores and crores of carbon emissions just by efficient way of diesel. So we are first taking care of the fuel, which is diesel. We are building mobile petrol pumps, and all this thing with just one thought that India needs this. And very proud to say we have a patent which is registered, 3 patents which is registered in India, and 1 patent of ours got registered in WIPO, which is an international patent for 153 countries. So nowhere in the world it is happening. And when we met Piyush Goyal sir, we told him, sir, why do we have startups which always come from the West and then we copy? We have Amazon, then we copy here, Flipkart. फिर वहाँ पे Uber होता है, फिर हम copy करते हैं. So this is an original idea. Let's scale it to the globe. And that's where even Piyush Goyal sir agreed, because हमको कोई problem आता है, we have to go directly to Delhi. I mean, Chetan can tell more on that. Yes, fine.
Thank you, Aditi. I think a lot of things you have covered, but I'll just like to give you a small brief what ma'am also said about Pune becoming a Silicon Valley. We had a question when we started. Everyone said Bangalore. ठीक है, बहुत बड़ा प्लान है आपका, और पुणे में आपको सबसे पहले तो कोई फंड देगा नहीं, आपको कोई टीम देगा नहीं, ठीक है, और आप खुद पुणे में इस तरीके से लोग हो कि आपको no one will believe in you. I think that's when the journey started. We said Pune has become the hub of IT. We are the manufacturing hub. Why we cannot be a startup hub in the nation? And last year we felt very bad when none of the startup was selected from Pune, and that's what inspired us. Let us apply. We applied. I think it was in the month of Jan about the center startups. The IoT which we were applying, we thought there will be multiple people who will talking about IoT, because we are just making a very small innovation in the IoT which might be bringing a big change in it. But one thing I think I would like to appreciate the jury, where they said a technology which you are building shouldn't be the perfect technology. The technology should be helping people. And that's what I think this mobile fuel station is catering to, the last mile delivery. We just got a message last week. The entire Kashmir has been shut down. There is no fuel, Leh Ladakh. But the entire fueling of Leh Ladakh is being done by a mobile fuel station. And they said, now we can start tourism through this. The entire army, the BROs, the Border Road Organization, uses our technology where the vehicle cannot reach or their fueling cannot happen. I think more than a technology, the willingness or the innovation, what is needed in the nation, we should get it. And I think that's how, and we are very sure about this, that Pune is going to be definitely a Silicon Valley. It's not anywhere Bangalore. Maharashtra has already got 13 now. Bangalore is 14. We are just one number left. We were just tracking that kitne apne paas aaye. So every time Bangalore has to cheer up, but I think this time we have to show investors also. The Pune will be the next Bangalore, or Pune in the first few weeks and first few year, and then probably a Silicon Valley. Thank you.
Request you to please wait here. We'll have your felicitation done at the hands of Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, please. Both of you can come back. Great. I think your story is very, very inspiring, and I'll definitely share the YouTube video, which is absolutely inspiring, which I saw in the morning, and I thought that we should play that, but it was somewhere there were little hitches in the video, but we'll really share it with everyone. And we can really see your passion of both of you, I think, Aditi and Chetan. I think Aditi is more on the screen is what I can see there. Great, great couple to have here with us. We have the second startup, which is Pivot Chain Solutions Technology Private Limited. And we joined here by Deepak Rao. I request Deepak Rao to kindly come here. Small video. I hope we'll make that. Jane is a data science company focused on learning and advanced analytics based out of India. The team has a strong background in financial modeling, learning, and statistical techniques. Provider of data analytics services intended to provide deeper and smarter insights into the data. The company's data analytics services include data mining, predictive modeling, predictive analytics using machine learning algorithms to extract, categorize, and analyze data, enabling public and private sector customers to discover information about
Thank you, ma'am, and very good evening to Rajesh sir, Apoorva ma'am, and to all the startups who are present here, and Aditi and Chetan has a wonderful introduction to the company. So, unfortunately, my fellow co-founder Yogendra is not here, Yogendra Singh, but happy to represent Pivot Chain. So, first of all, sincere thank you for recognizing this, and we are very proud Pune startup. So our area of focus is into security and surveillance. This is the space which we work in. Just to give a quick background about myself, I come from a pretty much an investment banking background. Born and brought up in Bangalore, but as I said to Apoorva ma'am earlier, for all practical reasons, I'm a Punekar. This is my Karma Bhumi. This is where my family lives, and this is where my kids go to school. And we love the city. And this is the city of entrepreneurs of future for sure. Just to give a quick introduction, right? So I come from an investment banking culture. So I used to work in investment banking in Mumbai. How many of you are not aware about 2611 Ajmal Kassab event that happened in Mumbai? How many of you are not aware? Right? All of us are aware. 1 week before that event occurred, me and my pregnant wife, we were in Trident Hotel. Just 1 week before. So if the timing was a week here and there, possibly we could have been one of the victims, and I probably wouldn't be standing here, possibly, right? So that event, it left a huge mark. My wife was pregnant, and we literally had, the child was delivered in 10 days, right? My son, my first son. So there's something very personal about this, right? So security space, if you see the security state of, not just globally, but let's just take within India, right? It's a 15,000 kilometers of border, and we live in a very interesting neighborhood. There's no question about that, right? So we have like what 7,500 kilometers of coastal border, and we have another 15,000 of land border, and as diverse as it can get. You have from desert to snow-capped mountains to dense jungle to arid regions and deep sea, shallow waters. Everything imaginable you find in all our borders. Now that's on the external security, but you look into the internal security as well. This country has its own challenges, which we've been doing to the level best possible extent we can, right? So Pivot Chain Solutions, we are product driven. It helps quite a lot of industries, especially aviation, homeland security, border, and some sensitive departments where we help detect event recognition, which stops or which highlights an event the moment it occurs. So our belief is like the faster the response time, you're impacted in this space. So if you go back to the same 2611, the problem was not that it took that lone wolf could come and create havoc in Mumbai, right? The problem was it took 3 days for us as a nation. You could have like 5 to 6 illiterate kids coming from our neighborhood and create havoc in the financial capital, and for all practical purposes, the most important city in this country. Just 5 to 6 illiterate kids, right? And it took 3 days for us to subdue them. The challenge was what? It is not lack of information or lack of willpower to subdue them or lack of capability. This country is fairly strong and it's fairly capable of handling those kind of events. The challenge was the lack of information available, where we could not convert the entire state of Mumbai and its security apparatus as one unit. So there would be an event somewhere in Churchgate. By the time you complete that, that guys would hijack another car, they would be in another place. And by the time somebody addresses here, they would go to another place. So this kept on going for 2 to 3 days, and they created a mayhem over cities. Is this something, if they were stopped at, let's say, Mumbai when they came in their dingies, if we could stop them, would the impact have been this big? Probably a little lesser, right? If we could save a few lives, if we could cut down the impact. So that was the impetus. So today, Pivot Chain Solution is working with quite a lot of aviation sectors and also in police and shipping and banks. So as I mentioned, if you see, look into India. So there are like 3.5 lakh ATMs, right? So there's close to 4 million, 4.5 million cameras live today. How many of them are monitored manually? I can tell you less than 1%. But end of the day, your security is as secure as the weakest link, right? So what we do is Raven automates automation of the entire surveillance technology. So you don't have to manually monitor them. They monitor and they give you insights, so you act upon it, right? So we do this with banks, shipping, aviation, and also with governments. So we are a Pune-based, and in fact, I was telling to ma'am earlier, we have a lot of our colleagues and even ex-colleagues are from this particular university. It's been a bed of talent pool for us, and we are also in discussion with ma'am, and hopefully, ma'am, with your approval, we get to engage more at a research level. So we are one of the few companies in India who are working on AI, especially in the area of secure tech. Right? Secure tech is a huge sector, and that's not been addressed. There's no reason why Palantir can exist in US, or Elbit can exist in Israel, or Huawei can exist in China, but not in India. There's no reason it cannot. It's not the talent, it's not the capital. It's just a pehli pehl honi chahiye, right? And we think Pune has all the ingredients to build a large ecosystem, not just Pivot Chain, but companies like Pivot Chain who might be better than us, who might be equal to us in all shapes and forms. I think we have a huge opportunity here. And we would like to thank you for acknowledging this. This is very motivating for all of us on behalf of the Pivot team and all the startups. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepak, for having come here. So the third startup that we have is UpCurve Business Services. May I invite Ravi Kumar and Varun Jain to please come on this. The brand is
हर मोड़ से मंजिल तक की सवारी मिलेगी, पटरियों पर अब यादों की रेलगाड़ी दौड़ेगी। बादलों में अपनों के खुश चेहरे भी दिखेंगे, रास्तों पर अब मुस्कुराहटों के पुल भी होंगे। अपने जहां वहीं घर होगा, हर सफर यादगार होगा। कोई भी दिन, कोई भी पल उड़ चलों के साथ अब हर सफर हुआ सिंपल।
Hello, good evening, everyone. Respected Vice Chancellor, sir, other dignitaries, and my fellow startup founders. A very, I would say, a big congratulations to all of you as well. So we won this award in one of the categories which is the most disrupted during the COVID time, that is travel. And still we managed to get this because all thanks to our customers who are none other than Indian Armed Forces, including paramilitary forces. We started with the travel, but we touch upon their lives when it comes to their financial part as well, their e-commerce part as well, and also we take care of their housing now. So we are ingrained in each part of their life because we are working on the mission of making life simpler for our soldiers. So the story started, even the biggest company on this planet started by selling books. So we picked the first problem, travel, because I, throughout my career with my dad, throughout my childhood with my dad, we traveled in mostly general compartment because most of the time leave gets sanctioned at the last moment. And getting a confirmed ticket for a defense personnel is very challenging. We all know even a month prior getting a ticket in railways, how challenging it is for us. And those time in general compartment, seats were made out of wooden, if you remember, and it was not the one with the span that comes nowadays. After graduating, in fact, I am more thankful because I am an alumni of SPPU. I graduated from Army Institute of Technology in year 2009 when it was Pune University. So 2009, after graduating, I worked with companies like Tata and Resource System. And first time I got a chance to travel by air in 2012 from Mumbai to Bhopal, and I saw that almost every second seat was vacant. But I realized that on one mode of transport, almost half of the seats are going vacant. And on other mode of transport, when I researched more, found that 3 lakh people are getting rejected every day by Indian Railways. Upon doing more research, what I found that almost 48,000 seats are going vacant every day. Even today, 40,000 seats are going vacant every day in all the airlines together. So knowing this and knowing that Army people mostly travel on the general compartment, we start approaching airlines and asking them to offer discounted fare on those distress inventory on those vacant seats. If they can reduce their fare to AC3, AC2, even an Army person can travel. And that much we can do as a nation. At least they have all rights to travel from their posting location to hometown conveniently, but not next to toilet, which might have been seen on the internet and all. So we looked at this problem from 2012 till December 2014. It took almost 3 years to convince the first airline. So commercially, we started business in 2014 with Jet Airways. And that was the year. In fact, not only convincing airlines was a challenge, even convincing customer was a challenge because 98% of the armed forces people are non-officers. And they always felt that airline travel is made for officers. It took a lot of pain. They almost shy away from traveling by air for multiple reasons. And it took so much of presentation and so much of groundwork to convince them you earn more than a fresher TCS engineer. You have all rights to travel by air. And they started traveling. The first financial year, we almost flew 1,600 soldiers. And today, almost 16 lakh soldiers fly through us. And 95% of them are the first-time flyer. So it is not only we made the life convenient of soldier, but also we provided a new target segment to aviation industry. In fact, during this COVID time, even aviation realized this problem that if armed forces market would not have been there, they might not have been survived also. So the entire market traveled, even though they always traditionally believe that leisure traveler and corporate traveler are their biggest clientele. But now they have started realizing now, in fact, you might have seen that defense fare is offered by all the airlines. It was Urchalo in 2014 that first convinced Jet Airways, and now all the airlines are offering defense fare. All the OTAs have defense fare. So we started by solving the travel problem, but now we are into their lives at all the places. We help them file tax because if a soldier is posted in field area, tax window is only for 4 months. He doesn't get leave, then he may default. So we started doing this, and then now we are touching upon not on the soldier's life, also on the veteran life. We have a call center where 18 paraplegic soldiers take call for us. We have 60 army wives who are taking call from their home wherever they are posted, which was one of the major challenge for soldiers, because with their posting, it was very difficult for their wives to get a job at that particular location. And most of these locations are in Kashmir, Misamari, all those extreme northeast and the valley area. Also, we have established 70 plus outreach center in all these areas like Uri, Baramulla, Kupwara, Leh, Ladakh. Why? Because what happens that most of these places don't have internet connection, especially whenever something happens, stone pelting or something happens in valley area, the internet connection is the first thing that being shut off. So these outreach centers ensure that they are not facing any challenges. These outreach centers are being enabled to take bookings 24/7, 365 days. Even during the heavy snowfall, we have multiple videos also that we keep on posting, that how our people who are veterans only, they go to these places and help our soldiers in making their travel and the other things easier, convenient. Lastly, I would just like to touch upon one thing where maybe, in fact, this is a help which through this platform I want to seek from SPPU, and said you are here only. So we do provide a scholarship also to kids, because education and sports are the two things which are closer to Urchalo. As a CSR activity, we do a lot of things on that part. Recently, we started giving scholarship to Sainik School Satara. Sainik School Satara start its education from class 6, and it only attract the best of the meritorious students from Maharashtra and neighboring states. Even many of the generals also, the chief of the Air Force and Army comes from Sainik School Satara. So we started giving scholarship because we realized that I was always under assumption that Sainik School is free because kids get through merit examination and all. But I got to know the fees is almost 1.2 lakhs. So we started scholarship, and what we found that most of the parents, they have this income of only 10,000 a year, 12,000 a year. And you will not realize that almost 120 intake happens, but by the time 12th, almost half of the kids leave school. So we started this to support the economically weaker section. And maybe if you can see, sir, because after 12th, it's the university that can take over the candidate if you can give some kind of association. I'm not sure right now, but if you can do something together, this is something I would really like to take it at. So that's what Urchalo is all about. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for this recognition on behalf of entire company. I would like to.
Very inspiring, very inspiring. Please come. With the fourth on the block, very young.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Akshay Dikshit and I'm the co-founder of Visago Innovations. Visago Innovations is basically a startup working on reimagining the rural mobility ecosystem by
Visago, and he will tell us the meaning of that word. There is some meaning to that word. And Akshay is I think the youngest startup in this whole group that I can see here, from Nasik, from the college ecosystem, and he has been with Digital Impact Square as well. Yes. Over to you, Akshay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much everyone for bringing us all here, and it's really an honor. So I'll start with what Ravi just rightfully mentioned. I come from a defense background myself. So there's a very interesting story why I started with this venture. And oftentimes you can say, I like to share this story. Why? Because I believe, just like Ravi has shared, there's a lot of potential in that sector as well. So my family was in the defense forces. So my father was in the Air Force. Even my grandmother, you can say aunt, everyone was in the army. I myself got selected for the Indian Air Force as a flying pilot. Unfortunately, due to a medical condition, I could not join. So in the last SSB which I faced, Urchalo was the service which I used to come back to Mumbai, by the way. Yeah. So after that, you can say there's a very famous saying in our family which says Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. And I'm sure Ravi would relate a lot to it. So even I felt, you can say my family has done justice to the term of Jai Jawan. And I thought that if I cannot go into that sector, let's focus something on the farming setup. So why don't we start something for Kisan of the country? And hence I started with this venture of Visago Innovations along with 3 of my founders. So Visago basically is amalgamation of 2 words. Vesa meaning small farmer in Sanskrit and Togo meaning integration in Japanese. We're working towards the integration. This is the main vision of the company, and we wanted that our company should represent the vision that it has in the name itself, and hence the name Visago. So we have been in this sector for almost 2.5 years now. I met ma'am, I think just before COVID when she came to KTHM college for a, you can say, session. So I was very fortunate to meet her that time. And that time we were just starting. And I'm very proud to say that right now we have farmer base of almost 12,000 farmers on our platform. And all thanks to the customers that are with us and all the supporters and partners. So basically what we have done is we have primarily developed 2 platforms. First is the Gramik platform. एक सिंपल एग्जांपल दूं तो अगर एक आज के तारीख में जैसे व्हाट चेतन आल्सो मेंशन, अगर मुझे आज लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल पनीर बटर मसाला खाना, सो एवरीवन कैन ओपन Zomato, Uber, you can say Swiggy, पहले Uber Eats भी था, एंड मल्टीपल वेबसाइट, और जहां पे सबसे अच्छा ऑफर मिलता है दे टेक इट फ्रॉम देयर. Why can't the same thing can also be given to farmers? As to if at all I am growing tomatoes, why should I not have a platform through which I can get to know कि अगर मुझे टमाटर आज बेचना है तो मुझे नासिक में कितना रेट मिलेगा, मुंबई में कितना रेट मिलेगा, पुणे में भी जितने मार्केट है जैसे कि चाकन मार्केट है, गुलटेकड़ी मार्केट है, वहां पे क्या रेट मिलने वाला है. So why don't farmer also have an option for that? आज के तारीख में भी farmers have to depend on that अड़त्या कि he will give a call, sometimes he'll give false rates, and then eventually he'll go to the same like same cycle follow over. So why don't we break this chain? And hence what we did was we made a mobile based platform on a real-time basis for almost 160 types of commodities that farmers can grow in India. We give real-time market information कि उसके commodity को क्या rate मिल सकता है. Not only that, we also give कि rate के साथ what is the expected demand for that, so that we can start predicting in the second version that we are launching. We are trying to create a, जैसे stock market में होता है, the way we are able to predict कि ऊपर जाएगा कि नीचे जाएगा market is purely because of supply demand. Similarly, can we also predict the supplies कि कितना सप्लाई आ सकता है मार्केट में, अकॉर्डिंगली वी कैन स्टार्ट रिकमेंडिंग कि हाँ ये आपका माल ऊपर आप आज निकाल लो, आज बेच दो, समथिंग दैट वी डू. सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट प्लेटफॉर्म दैट वी इन्वेंटेड, यू कैन से प्राइमरली टू गिव बेटर मार्केट अपॉर्चुनिटी. सेकेंडली वी आल्सो थॉट दैट कि अभी जिसमें भी पायलट चल रहा है इन शिकारपुर रीजन ऑफ पुणे, एज टू एक तो मैंने कर दिया, लेकिन कैन आई आल्सो प्रोवाइड देम शेयर्ड व्हीकल सर्विसेज एज टू if there are 4 to 5 farmers going in the same direction, why don't I you can say pull them in a single vehicle, and उससे post harvest expenditure भी कम हो जाएगा. So ये vision से हम लोगों ने अपना ये product बनाया था, and this system has been made live for almost 2.5 years now, actively being used by almost 3,000 farmers on a daily basis based in Pune, Ahmednagar, Nasik, some you can say outside of Maharashtra as well, but primarily हमारा focus area Maharashtra है. This is the first platform that we developed. While we are working in this ecosystem, we also got to know कि जो FPOs है, जो recently हमारे FPOs register हुए हैं, which stands for Farmer Producer Organizations. These are nothing but cooperative societies. So उनको भी काफी problems face होते हैं. So there is a lack of single one-stop solution to manage all their activities from seed to plate. ये basis पे we made a FPO management system, which is a highly customized SaaS-based offering for FPOs, जहाँ से end-to-end activities starting from seed to plate they can manage. So ये दो systems के through aggregative मैं बोलूँ तो almost 12,000 farmers का data हम लोग ने इकट्ठा किया. Along with that, we have ensured that कि of all these 12,000 farmers, everyone is getting impacted in a very positive way, and I'm very happy to share that the average increase in the income of the farmer is 12 to 15% through our platform. So that is a huge achievement for us and all the, you can say, partners who have been supporting us in this ecosystem. Again, I'll call myself entrepreneur by chance because I could not go to the defense forces since I came into this sector. But at the same time, my startup, like just like Ravi, is supporting a lot of people from the defense background. Even we have this vision with us, wherein almost 10 to 15% of our employee base comes from a defense background, because either they are, you can say, sons of veterans, and you can say, etc. So that is something that we do, and this is one way of we are giving back to the society. So thank you so much, ma'am, for this honor, and thank you so much, everyone, for this.
Yeah. So we were the fifth in the category, which is
Nadi Tarangini is set to revolutionize the art of Nadi Pariksha by giving it science.
He's not able to join us in person, and he will be joining us online. He's there online, so we'll just see a small video of his.
The art of Nadi Pariksha by giving it scientific recognition and accuracy like never before. But for many Vaidyas, it's difficult to understand how this feeling information is visualized on the screen. So this video is to make it very simple. You already know about the ECG machine. The ECG signals and HRV-based analysis helps the cardiologist to make the treatment process easier. We say that Nadi or the pulse is the manifestation of the heart pumping action. But it also depends upon the human hemodynamics. So because of that, the pulse signals are much more complex than ECG signal. It is also said in Ayurveda that Nadi is also a manifestation of brain or mind. Of course, we are not discussing that here in this particular video. An ECG signal follows a PQRST kind of rhythm. So a pulse signal should also follow the same signal, but because of the variations, it's slightly different. The feeling information of the pulse is available as 3 locations, as Vata, Pitta and Kapha. We are using 3 pressure sensors in Nadi Tarangini to convert that pressure energy into the digital form. And finally, we see 3 signals on the computer screen or mobile screen as 3 waveforms, similar to 12 lead ECG signal in case of ECG machine. When you feel the pulse, you feel that the pulse is moving highs and lows. So these highs and lows of the feeling information are also captured accurately in Nadi Tarangini as highs and lows in the waveform, as you can see in the figure. So when the Nadi has high pressure energy or high strength, in the waveform you see that it has a high point. And when there is no strength or you don't feel the pulse much, that goes at down, or we call it as a baseline. So every Nadi goes ups and downs in a rhythmic fashion. So as the heart is pumping in rhythm, the pulse is also going in the rhythmic fashion. But because of the variability and also because of the functioning of all the organs, the pulse is not exactly rhythmic. Every rhythm is different. Sometimes these ups and downs are bigger, sometimes these ups and downs are very minute. A Vaidya with the concentration level and meditation are able to extract those minute variations and correlate them with various physiological parameters. So every pulse beat is comprised of 4 subwaves: the percussion wave, the tidal wave, the valley and the dichrotic wave. So it follows the PTVD pattern. So it goes similar to PQRST of ECG. It goes as PTVD as the pulse signal. And the Vaidyas will feel them as intervariability and intravariability to correlate them with the final outputs. So these variations are very complex and sometimes very difficult for a Vaidya to understand. That's why in Nadi Tarangini, we have developed many pattern recognition and artificial intelligence algorithms to decode these variations and provide you the final output. Nadi Pariksha is a very
request Dr. Joshi to come online and speak to us.
Everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
I'm so sorry I could not be there. I'm so missing being there, meeting you all in person. But of course, I also missed meeting my fellows last Sunday when we all met for the first time. So thank you for showing this video. It's a very long, I mean, it was a very old video of 2017 when we launched Nadi Tarangini. And this journey actually started long ago when I was doing engineering, when my father was not well. Professor Kalmarkar might know him, Professor J.B. Joshi of UDCT. So, and we took treatment of someone called Vaidya Ashok Bhatt of Pune. And he treated my father well through Nadi Pariksha. And as engineers, we got amazed की फक्त असं नाडी बघून कसं काय समजू शकतं की काय झालंय आणि काय करायचं. So those discussions actually led to this particular idea that we should come up with a technology which can eventually be useful for hundreds and then thousands and eventually millions of people. So I did my PhD at IIT Bombay just to find out the real science of this nadi. We came up with the patented sensor technology, and then I was doing my postdoc at NCL. So while I was doing postdoc, I happened to meet Anand Deshpande of Persistent Systems. And he encouraged me heavy that I should come out of this academics and start my own company. So I did that, thankfully, in 2015. The whole my family is into academics, but I'm the only outlier. I think the previous one, the Nashik guy, also said he came to entrepreneurship by chance. So I'm one of the forced entrepreneurs, we can say. So by now we have about 500 doctors associated with us, and we have diagnosed more than 150,000 patients. The whole data is on our server. And I think the main thing which we have solved is through statistics. We could show that the numbers of Vat Pitta Kapha or the numbers of digestion, Jatha Agni, and so on, these numbers actually change with seasons. They change morning, evening, they change with lunar cycle. We show the significance of Ekadashi through data. I think this is the first time, some technology or data is helping to provide our great science of knowledge, which is Ayurvedic knowledge, and bringing that into today's language, which is of numbers, statistics, reports, pre and post comparison, and so on. I think it's very important that ultimately getting the recognition and getting it integrated with today's allopathy. We are not saying that Ayurveda can be different, allopathy can be different. I think it should be combined, it should be integrative ultimately, and it so that it will benefit all of us. So just to I'm not there, but I would like to come and meet all of you very soon, because Nadi is just one part. I mean, Ayurveda has Ashtavita Pariksha, so there are 8 different sensors or X-rays of that time. And I've just started with one of the X-rays. I think there is a lot of scope in getting more technology products based on the tongue, based on face, based on Anguli Praman, based on gait analysis, and so on. And I would like to work closely with the students and professors of SPPU. So thank you again for this recognition. I'm so sorry I could not join you there in person. Thank you so much.
So, thank you, Aniruddha. I'm not surprised that you're the son of the great Dr. J.B. Joshi, that has been an icon for all of us. And we've all done so much of learning from him. So how do you go to the base and core of any problem? And I'm sure we will send you the felicitation shortly, or if you decide to come to Pune University, we will have your interaction done with Honorable Vice Chancellors. With this, we're coming towards the last part of the program. I know we have 350 students who've joined online today. Just in the interest of everyone sitting here in this room, these are the students who have participated in Innovation to Enterprise competition that we have been hosting for the last 3 years. And this year, there have been 100 teams that we identified. And out of this, we're going to be taking up 35 teams. And they're all in the audience. And I will request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to give his address and also to declare the names of these teams. There are 35 teams, but I would request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to give his presidential address the address for today, as well as also declare these names. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar. It's indeed a pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. In fact, I was listening to your journey, and we also started our journey 2.5, 3 years before time when we thought of establishing this SPPU Research Park Foundation. And I'm so happy that whatever that you are working, the areas or the focus areas that we chose, in fact, most of the work, whatever you are doing, from great extent seems to be getting connected with. We are into agriculture, we are into water, we are into healthcare, we are into mobility. And the last and most important thing is the new technological sort of interaction which is required is AI, artificial intelligence. And therefore, somewhere I felt like there's a connect, whatever that we are doing, and that is what we are promoting on the campus of the University of Pune. I always feel that university should be an all the time happening place. And that's the reason when Rajesh told me that we should bring in these people on the campus so that our students also get to understand, get to know about what has been happening in this particular ecosystem. So first of all, thank you so very much for accepting our invitation and sharing your ideas. In fact, although because of the COVID thing, this entire building, in fact, is dedicated for the startup sort of ecosystem asset. There are 40 startups. We, in fact, provide co-locations also. In fact, the place when you entered into this hall, a small corridor that you must have crossed over, that is another industry. It's called C4I4, Center for Industry 4.0. And wherein, in fact, the idea was that our student would work as an interns. So, in fact, we have sort of a discussion, deliberation, webinar that happened in this very premise, wherein we had people coming from Tata, people coming from Mercedes, people come from Volkswagen, and so on and so forth. They come with their problems, and then the solutions are provided through this particular industry. And our student, in fact, create those solutions for them. And that is what basically a give and take kind of a thing that has been happening through this particular C4I4. In fact, there are 40 odd startups presently, as she mentioned, initially 19, then some more additional. And then perhaps the competition that we had recently, perhaps there are a few more would be likely to join. And that is what we are to a great extent actually trying to promote. Not necessarily only this particular area, entrepreneurship in every sort of area, including sports. So in fact, yesterday, one of my alumni, in fact, completed 60 marathons, one after the other, like 42 kilometers every day, non-stop for last 60 days. And that is world record, in fact. And then I always feel that I'm being surrounded by all good people, and so good thought comes to me through the interaction and all that. On every Sunday, in fact, we've been organizing, because during the COVID time, I met so many people, especially the student community, who are good in painting, who are good in sketching, and good in basically doing various different kinds of things and all that. So, but they said like we could use the lockdown time for creating many things, but there are no exhibitions happening, and there are no exhibitions, so obviously there is no sale. I said make use of the campus, and then every Sunday they start. They actually do their exhibition close to one of the statue early morning. Roughly around 1,500 pictures get projected there, and people. and there should be new ideas, there should be new crazy things coming up on which students should work. It is just not basically the traditional knowledge that we should impart, but something distinct and different, so that basically in all spheres of life, my students should stand out. With that intention, basically, this particular SPPU Research Park Foundation has been created. And there are various different mentors, they come, they do the boot camp, they do basically all sort of mentoring. The advantage generally that you have on the campus, there are 52 odd departments on the campus. Encompassing all disciplines, whether it is science, technology, management, commerce, interdisciplinary, humanities, and all that. So basically, there are experts that are available. Then apart from that, for any analysis that is required, we have the test of the instrumentation that is available. There is central instrumentation facility that is available. We have a technology department where we have a very strong connect or footprint of the industry people. And therefore, unless and until we come together, we will not be able to resolve this societal problem. And that is what basically we should be actually looking at addressing to. Our research should not be something very specific, only science oriented. Instead, in fact, it should be more of a society oriented. So your problem, societal problem, should become more research problem. With that intention, in fact, we have created this. And believe me that 4 years before time, this was just a lecture campus kind of thing. Probably once in a blue moon, there was a lecture happening and all that, but now it is a very vibrant, very dynamic place as well. And in fact, I would like to, in fact, invite you all also to interact with our 40 startups, what exactly they are doing and all that. Probably in today's online meeting, I do not know whether they're around and all that, but it is inspiring for them also. The kind of journey that we spoke of, obviously, is very insightful, very sort of inspiring for young people actually, who sometimes have crazy ideas just because they don't get a proper platform, they just don't get a proper sort of mentoring, and because of it, many times they go away. So to stop that, in fact, this ecosystem is created. And we, in fact, on the 11th of next month, we will be having women in data science. They specifically, basically, men only for the women community presently working in data science. So they would be coming, and then so many things we will be learning through them. That sort of interaction, we actually hope that would benefit not necessarily only women, but other students also who are into data science. And then on 28th February, obviously, this is science, they open this. So the sensors, basically, the sensor technology. So there would be a huge exhibition of sensors on the campus. In what different fields you can make use of it. So this is what basically that we are looking at, wherein we would attract the best of the talent on the campus. There is an exchange of ideas, there is an exchange of sort of you come and meet and discuss, deliberate, and then come out with solutions to the societal problem. So once again, I thank everyone for sparing your valuable time and giving your experience to our school. Thank you so very much. So the Center for Innovation, Incubation and Enterprise, I2E competition cluster level result I'm declaring. Project code PN6, college name AISMS COE Pune, and team leader is Mr. Samki Chajed. Second is water quality monitoring system, DY Patil College of Engineering, Akodi, Pune. The team leader is Darshan More. Edopla, Symbiosis College of Arts and Commerce, Prithviraj Deshmukh. Nano emulsion based extraction of carotenoids, green technique. JSPM, Charak College of Pharmacy and Research, Bagoli. Swananda Kulkarni. Processing of water hyacinth, Dr. D.Y. Patil Unitech Societies, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Science and Research. Sanket Suryavanshi. Dhara Solar Power Pesticide Sprayer Robot, fully automated, JSPM Rajashri Shahu College of Engineering, Rahul More. Agrotech Multifunctional Sprayer, JSPM Rajashri Shahu College of Engineering, Bhushan Jadhav. Multipurpose Electric Vehicle for Farmers, JSPM Revantra Sound College of Engineering, Siddhi Bhende. Oil Degradation Kit for Effluent Treatment, SSR College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Silvassa, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Palak Arvind Singh. DispSafe, SCES Indira College of Pharmacy, Animesh Mishra. Automatic irrigation using solar tracker with software integration, Dr. D.Y. Patil, Pakistan, D.Y. Patil Institute of Engineering Management and Research, Rawat, Mr. Pranav Sonar. Krishi Doodh, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Master of Computer Application and Management, Anuja Mahadik. Adhunik Scarecrow, RMD Siagat School of Engineering, Pratik Jadhav. Krushaka Tech, KRT Arts, BH Commerce and AM Science, KTHM. Karlekar Vaishnavi Tukaram. Dry hand washing machine by fog disinfection, JSPM's Jayantra Southern College of Engineering, Pune, Ganesh Kashana Chalke. Electric vehicle charging through biogas, Sri Naneshwar Mahavidyalaya Nevasa, Ms. Vaman Samruddhi Chandrakant. A multi-purpose exploration drone, Pravda Rural Engineering College, Loni, Gudge, Siddesh Shivaji. Triumph MVPS, KBT College of Engineering, Nashik, Chinmay Prashant Chaudhary. Machine idle time monitoring system, Pimpri Chinchud Education Trust, Pimpri Chinchud College of Engineering and Research, Mr. Akshay Kumar S. Dabole. Composting machine, Bhavravji Gholap College, Sangvi, Pune, Ms. Meghna Ashok Kharavde. Next AR, D.Y. Patil Institute of Masters of Computer Application and Management, Balakrishna More. Automated algorithmic cryptocurrency trading, Jain College of Engineering, Maneshwari Shivaji Wire. Smart control of wheelchair by voice recognition, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Pimpri, Ugade Vaibhav Shivaji. Search in AISSMS Institute of Information Technology, Aniket Chopade. Office attendance system using face recognition, Army Institute of Technology, C. Khushi. Liquidify, RMD Sinhagat College of Engineering, Mr. Savan Niktaka. Blockchain based vaccination record storing system, Cages Educational Institute of Trinity College of Engineering, Ruwaida Sheikh. Greenhouse automation system using machine learning and deep learning, Siddhant College of Engineering, Aniket Mandrekar. Prosthetic hand for physically challenged person, Sanjivani College of Engineering, Kopargaon, Nive Nakul Vijay. To improve patient compliance of geriatric patient by formulating a bed sore spray, Bhujbal Knowledge City, MET Institute of Pharmacy, Gargi Dhaneshwar. Use of industrial hemp fibers and cloth for production of antibacterial, reusable, biodegradables, sanitary pads, Rayesh Shikshan Sanstha, Anusha Sukhdev Shilke. MedQuery, Indira College of Engineering and Management, Meghna Krishnan. CRISPR for diagnosis of MDR TB, SCES Indira College of Pharmacy, Madhvi Ashok Jedurikar. Azam Deal, Abeda Inamdar Senior College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Fauzia Khan. Rehabilitative exoskeleton, Kashibai Naule College of Engineering, Tushank Jadhav. Propozone, Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Jitendra Ingavle. Historia, JJ Raisani Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pune, Neha Chaudhary. And last, flight and maintenance safety alarm to avoid unauthorized entity to aircraft. Pune Institute of Aviation Technology, Pune, Mrs. Ramya PR.
Thank you. Congratulations to all of you who made it to the cluster round. I know there is a long journey because from the cluster round, you'll go to the university round, and then we'll have the prize winners. And some of you will qualify to get into the incubation center. Every year we've been doing this. Thank you, sir, for making those announcements. With this, we come to the end of the program, and I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank everyone who's come online, as well as all the startups who have made it possible on one phone call. I must appreciate this because having really not known any one of you in person, at least I didn't know, but some of you actually happen to know us. But I'm really, really happy that you were able to make it today. And I would like to thank all the leadership team, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Sir, and Registrar, Sir. But I would fail in my duties if I'm not able to speak about one special person, Rajesh Pandeyji, who actually made this event happen today. So I'm happy, would like to interact with him in due course today over a cup of tea. I would like to thank the Management Council members who joined us today, Prasenjit Fadnvis Sir, Sakane Sir, who's with us, and the Dean, Sanjeev Sonamne Sir, who has made it possible. I would like to thank everyone who's present here, and I wish all the best to everyone and for a rocking circuit success for the city of Pune. Thank you so much.